A lot can happen in the next 3 years. Like a chatbot may be your new best friend. But what won't change? Needing health insurance. United Healthcare Tri-Term Medical Plans are available for these changing times. Underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, they offer budget-friendly, flexible coverage for people who are in between jobs or missed open enrollment. The plans last nearly 3 years in some states, with access to a nationwide network of doctors and hospitals. So for whatever tomorrow brings, United Healthcare Tri-Term Medical Plans may be for you. Learn more at uh1.com.
The Technion Israel Institute of Technology is where some of Israel's brightest minds ask the biggest question of all. What if? What if they could take on the world's biggest challenges? What if they could develop life-changing environmental, scientific, health, medical, and technological discoveries that will make a huge impact on Israel and the planet? But they don't just ask the question, they answer it too. They turn those ideas into reality. They make them happen. To see just some of the incredible things they've achieved, get the Technion Booklet of Wonders at ats.org/wonders. We hope it inspires you to give them your support so they can keep doing what they do best. The American Technion Society. World-changing discoveries by Israel's brightest minds, made possible by you.
Hey listeners, it's Mishi. Last week we released our 50th Wartime Diary. This week is Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. And as a way of marking this milestone and these dates, Yochai Meital and I will have a series of onstage conversations in New York and Cleveland. We'll discuss the process of creating Wartime Diaries, talk about some of the challenges we've encountered, the dilemmas we've had, the insights we've gained. So if you want to hear what covering the evolving story of this war has been like for us, we'd love to see you at one of our events. All the details are on our site, israelstory.org. And meanwhile, wishing us all calm and peaceful days ahead.
So Tzvika, just a few days after your son, Eitan, was kidnapped from the Nova party, you went on TV and you said, and I printed out the exact quote here, "If I must choose between the love of my son and the love of my nation, then I choose the love of the nation." And also, quote, "If the sacrifice must be sacrificed, then we shall sacrifice. We must raise children who are willing and up for what this land demands of them." And it struck me like...
Correct. Look, thousands of soldiers that came to the war are saying that we care about the state of Israel more than we care about our lives. Okay? So I'm part of them. If everyone from us will say that his life is the most important thing, we can close our state.
Hey listeners, it's Mishi. So as you know, we're continuing our series of Wartime Diaries, which is our attempt to collect slivers of life during these difficult days. This is our 50th Wartime Diary. 47-year-old Tzvika Mor is from the West Bank settlement of Kiryat Arba, near Hebron. His son, Eitan, was kidnapped from the Nova Festival, where he had been working as a security guard. In fact, Eitan was only kidnapped in the afternoon of October 7th, after spending nearly 9 hours evacuating injured partygoers to safe locations nearby. During that whole time, Eitan heroically returned to the festival grounds again and again and again, under fire, to save complete strangers. At around 3:30 p.m., he was himself taken by terrorists and driven into Gaza, where he's remained ever since. His dad, Tzvika, is an outlier among the families of the hostages. As campaigns across the country and throughout the world call on the leaders of Israel and the Hamas to reach a deal that would release the hostages, Tzvika believes that the Israeli government should keep on fighting and not agree to any ceasefire, even if it comes at the cost of his son's freedom, perhaps even his life. He established a small group of like-minded relatives of hostages, which called itself Forum Tikva, or the Hope Forum. They stress the importance of the nation and the state over the life of any individual, even if that individual happens to be your loved one. And in that, ironically, their right-wing position echoes the left-wing socialist and collectivist sentiments that were dominant in the early days of the state. What can I say? Israel's a complicated place. Anyway, Mitch Ginsburg and I spoke to Tzvika in our studio in Jerusalem. Here he is.
My name is Tzvika Mo, married. We're parents of 8 kids. Eitan, who is kidnapped, is our elder. Will be 24 after Independence Day. And we have a little girl, 5 years old. And we're living in Kiryat Arba. My wife is a kindergarten in special education for 25 years. And I'm a therapist for teens with ADHD.
And that also relates to Eitan.
Yeah. Eitan was a typical ADHD, hyper. It was very hard for him to sit all these hours in the school, especially in a religious school. He's a child of freedom, okay? A child of the jungle. And in 11th grade, Eitan decided to leave the yeshiva high school. Eitan thought for years that we are disappointed in him because we are religious and he is not. So I think that 2 months before October 7, we were sitting together and I saw that something is not as usual. And I told him, Eitan, look, this is your life. I love you and it doesn't matter what you are doing, and you cannot disappoint me and try me. I asked him to try me. And I think that Eitan knew that he's going to be in this festival as a security guard, but he didn't want to tell me because I think that he knew that if he will tell me that I can be sad. He didn't want me to be sad, especially before Shabbat, before Simchat Torah. Okay?
Would you have told him not to go?
No. He's 23 years old. He has his life, his values. Yeah. So, in October 7 in the morning, I went to the shul. I'm a gabbai. And I came with the candies for the kids for Simchat Torah, and my phone was in my house. And that's the reason that Eitan called to my brother, okay, and not to me, because he knew that I don't have a phone on Shabbat. And about 4 o'clock afternoon, I came back from the shul after davening, and I opened the door, and all my family was crying. My wife, my children, and I asked them, what happened? What happened? And they said that Eitan is missing. And I remember that I took my 2 girls and I told them that Arabs took Eitan and they give him a room and a bed and food, and they want to exchange him with Arabs that we have in our jail. That's it. And now we have to wait. We have to be strong, and we have to pray for Eitan. and we will see Eitan. To my elders, I told that we have a responsibility. We have a role, a special role. We have to teach the people of Israel, because after decades of Western liberal thinking, the default will be to think only about the hostages. But we are in a war. We're talking about the life of all this state. So if we want to continue to live here, we have to sacrifice. Okay? My responsibility is not only for my family and my relatives and my friends, but for all my nation. Look, when I went to the Second Lebanon War, I told to my wife, please, if Hezbollah kidnap me, do not release terrorists for me. And Eitan told us the same thing less than 1 year ago.
Really?
Yes. We were sitting in Shabbat table, and my kids asked me about Shalit deal. And suddenly Eitan told us that if we will take an hostage, he's not allow us to release him for terrorists.
So, Tzvika, let me ask you, I'm sure you pray every day that Eitan comes home safely and lives a full and healthy life. That obviously goes without saying, and Amen.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
But just to ask you, you would prefer to sacrifice Eitan's life for a success in winning this war?
Look, all this thing that Israel is negotiating with terrorists, it's crazy. Okay? In the 70s, it was very, very clear that Israel do not speak with the terrorists. Okay? Savoy Hotel, Sabena Airplane, Entebbe. But now it came a default that Israel negotiating with terrorists. And I think that it's terrible. The hostages should come back before any deal with Hamas about the war. And it's ridiculous that you are in a war, you want to make your enemy weak, and you are paying to him?
So very shortly after you learnt that Eitan was kidnapped, you were in shul and heard the story of Abraham going and agreeing to sacrifice Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
What did you feel when you heard that story being chanted in the synagogue?
First, the end of Isaac's sacrifice was that Yitzchak is alive. All the purpose of Isaac's sacrifice was to build in the Israeli nation the capability to sacrifice the life for the meaning of our lives. And the highest meaning of our lives is the lives of the Israeli nation.
I was just going to ask, what's your wife's name?
Efrat.
Efrat. She's totally with you on this?
Yes, of course.
Really?
Yes, 100%. We have the same approach. Me and my wife, okay, we have to be closer than ever.
Is that something, sorry to interrupt you, but is that something that you say to your wife immediately?
Yes.
Is that something she says to you?
Yes.
We must be closer than ever before?
Yes. We spoke, and I told them that we have to keep our relationship closer than ever.
So Tzvika, can you talk a little bit about how your message resonates or doesn't resonate within the community of the families of the hostages?
Look, we have a great relationships with all the families except 2 or 3 families that we tried, and they don't want to talk with us. Some of them blamed us that all what happened in October 7 is all because of us, because we are living in Judea, and all the army was in Judea instead of being in the south. And some of them told us in the first days that we are sacrificing our loved ones, and they don't want to talk with us because we are fanatic, we are crazy people. And we saw that their values and the messages are not according to our values at all. So we established Tikva Forum. And in the beginning, we were only 3 families. Now we are about 32 families. But in the TV and the radio, you can see and hear only 4 or 5, because most of the families don't want to speak. Some of them are afraid about their loved ones, because my approach is not what Hamas want to hear. Okay, Hamas want to hear that the Israelis are afraid, okay, and in stress, and I'm saying something else, something different.
But is there concern among the hostage families that sort of statement will perhaps poorly influence your loved ones?
Yes.
Do you ever imagine the moment that he gets released?
Oh, yes. Every day. The call in the middle of the night that we have a surprise, we have a good news. Eitan is waiting for you in Kerem Shalom. And wake up our kids. We are going to see Eitan. Eitan is alive. Come on, get dressed and to the cars. Yeah. The first kiss, the first hug, the first point that I can see him.
And lastly, Tzvika, if on the very off chance that Eitan can listen to this podcast episode, what message would you like to send to him?
Eitan, we're missing you very, very much. We're speaking about you every day, every hour. I'm carrying your picture with me because I'm traveling every day all over the country, and you are with me in my car and in my heart. And I know that you are a tough guy. You are strong. You know that you have to be strong, not only for you, but for all your friends there, all the hostages that with you, probably with you. And we are waiting to see you as soon as possible, especially for your birthday, after Independence Day.
Thank you.
So that's Vika.
את בנך, את יחידך, אשר אהבת, קח את יצחק, והעלהו לעולם על אחד ההרים, במקום אשר אומר אליך, והעלהו לעולם על אחד ההרים בארץ מוריה, ומכל ההרים שבארץ ההיא תעלה צעקה גדולה. הנה האש והנה העצים והנה הוא הסלע לעולם. ריבונו של עולם המלא רחמים, אל הנער ידך אל תשלח, אל הנער ידך אל תשלח. גם אם שבע נחיה ונזקין, לא נשכח כי הונף הסכין. לא נשכח את בנך, את יחידך, אשר אהבנו. לא נשכח את יצחק.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.